As the world holds its collective breath, recent events have ignited a chilling sense of déjà vu, echoing the ominous days of the past century's two world wars. The unexpected attack by Hamas on Israel and the ensuing escalation of conflicts in Lebanon, Syria, and Palestine have sent shockwaves through the international community, prompting many to ponder a disturbing question: are we teetering on the edge of World War III? In recent days, the world's attention has been riveted to the explosive situation in Israel. The unrelenting barrage of rockets from Gaza and Israel's military response have underscored a disconcerting reality. The world remains profoundly divided when it comes to matters of international security and justice. While many nations decried Hamas's audacious attack on Israel as an affront to global stability, there were others who inexplicably lent their support to this atrocious act of aggression. However, the Israel-Palestine conundrum is just one piece of a much larger puzzle, one fraught with international conflicts and political powder kegs that could potentially herald a cataclysmic global conflict. Welcome to International Hotspot, and today we'll be talking about whether Israel versus Palestine can start a World War III. But before we get down to business, why don't you consider hitting the subscribe button, as it helps us a lot. The ripple effects of the Israel-Hamas clash extend far beyond the borders of the Middle East. Across the Mediterranean, Lebanon, a nation torn apart by civil war, stands as a microcosm of regional discord. Various factions, supported by foreign powers with conflicting interests, have turned this nation into a crucible of geopolitical strife. The Israel-Palestine conflict is no longer a mere bilateral dispute confined to the Middle East. It has become a crucible of regional and global interests. Various nations, each with their own political, economic, and strategic motives, have vested interests in this territory. The involvement of major world powers, including the United States, Russia, and China, in supporting either side or seeking influence further complicates the conflict. The region's volatile nature has turned it into a breeding ground for proxy battles. Regional powers, such as Iran and Saudi Arabia, have extended their influence by supporting opposing factions. This kind of proxy warfare is not new, but as these factions become more embroiled in the Israel-Palestine conflict, it poses a significant risk of expanding the conflict beyond the Middle East. The potential for a wider conflict escalates when nuclear capabilities come into play. Israel is widely believed to possess a significant nuclear arsenal, although it maintains a policy of ambiguity regarding its nuclear capabilities. Iran, a regional adversary of Israel, has ambitions for nuclear development, raising alarms on an international scale. The Israel-Palestine conflict serves as a potential flashpoint for a nuclear showdown. One of the most concerning aspects of the Israel-Palestine conflict is the intricate web of alliances and allegiances. The United States has historically been a staunch supporter of Israel, providing military aid and diplomatic backing. On the other hand, several Arab and Muslim-majority nations have expressed solidarity with the Palestinian cause. If this conflict were to escalate, nations could be compelled to fulfill their alliances and commitments, dragging the world into a broader conflict. While the United Nations and various international bodies have long sought to mediate the Israel-Palestine conflict, the challenges are immense. The international community's inability to find a lasting resolution to this dispute has led to mounting frustration and disillusionment. If diplomatic efforts continue to falter and violence escalates, it could potentially undermine the credibility of international institutions, pushing nations to take matters into their own hands. The Middle East is a global energy hub, providing a significant portion of the world's oil and natural gas. Any sustained conflict in the region could disrupt energy supplies and send shockwaves through the global economy. The economic repercussions of a major Israel-Palestine conflict would resonate worldwide, impacting industries, financial markets, and the livelihood of billions. As this conflict simmers and threatens to boil over, the rest of the world watches with a growing sense of unease. The potential for a world war arising from this seemingly localized conflict is not something to be taken lightly. The repercussions for global security would be profound, leading to a re-evaluation of geopolitical strategies, security policies, and defense alliances. According to CNN, the United States and its allies are already warning Hezbollah militants against escalation. Since the bulk of this military group is located in Lebanon, Washington is closely monitoring events in the country. It is also important that the militant group is financed mainly by Iran, and therefore its direct confrontation with Israel is obvious. In addition, despite warnings including from the UAE, Syria has already begun shelling Israel from its own side. The position of some other countries, in particular Turkey, is also alarming. For example, recent ambiguous statements by Recep Erdogan, including that the killing of Israeli civilians by Hamas were accidental, and that Israel's approach to resolving the situation is too brutal and unjustified, add fuel to the fire, despite the fact that the Turkish president himself calls for de-escalation. The global security crisis did not solely emerge with the Russian invasion. Rather, it has roots in various events of the 21st century, with financial factors playing a significant role. However, the situation has been further intensified by the full-scale war in Ukraine and the armed invasion of Israel. Simultaneously, authoritarian methods of governance are on the rise worldwide, with power increasingly wielded by those who seek to address issues through brute force. The consensus among most international experts is that the outbreak of World War III is highly unlikely, given the irreparable consequences it would entail. Nevertheless, analysts anticipate a notable rise in the prevalence of what are known as proxy wars, where major nations pursue their interests through the involvement of smaller, lesser developed countries. Only time will tell whether the analysts were right or not. Until then, it's time for us to call it a day. We do hope that you liked the video and found it informative. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget to click the bell icon. Your valuable suggestions are very important to us, so do post them in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next video.